Selena, what are you doing out on your own? Is it true that you and Matthew moved out a week ago? I couldn't get in touch with you, so I came here and found that your house is deserted. He doesn't need an insane wife like you. I will find him a better woman to marry. What are you talking about when Matthew also moved out with me? He is being deceived by you. I have to pull him out of it. He doesn't like your meddling, so he chose to cut you out and move in with me. What? Also, Matthew and I have both changed jobs, so please don't cause us any trouble by going into our old workplace. You changed jobs? Goodbye now. Tell me your new address. Selena, it's been a long time. Has it already been 3 years? What? My mother-in-law? Suddenly contacting me? Isn't it a little late for that? Oh, I knew you didn't block my number. Yeah, well, even though we don't want to speak with you, we still need to keep tabs on what you're up to, just in case. I thought you'd given up and would never contact me. What do you even want? Still the same sassy wife who can't keep her mouth shut. Well, I'll put a stop to that today. I won't let you get away with it anymore. I tracked down you and Matthew's address. What? And, Selena, I heard you're pregnant. And isn't the baby due today? Your neighbor told me she saw you leaving last night, saying you were having contractions. If you're replying to me, then you've already had the baby, right? She was born in the middle of the night with Matthew by my side, and it was a very easy delivery. I thought I would ask you to start apologizing today for making him disappear from me the way you did. But even if you apologize now, I will never forgive you. Apologize? I have nothing to apologize to you for, nor do I intend to apologize to you ever. Cheeky! Fine then. I'll discipline you severely from now on so that you'll never think to speak to me like that again. Having a child with Matthew is the expected thing for a wife to do, so don't feel so special about it. Don't think you've fulfilled your role as a wife just because you've given birth once. Are you telling me to have a second child as soon as possible? That's one part of it. But first of all, I'm moving in with you. Huh? I'll start living with you today to discipline you, so get out of the hospital in 30 minutes. What are you talking about? The doctors won't let you do that. It's common for women to be discharged from the hospital around a week after childbirth. I've never heard of being discharged in 30 minutes, even in fiction. There you go! While you're complaining like that, time is flying by. You have 28 minutes left. Get out of the hospital as soon as possible. I mean, that can't really be what's on your mind today. I think your priorities are clearly in the wrong order. What are you talking about? For me, my priorities right now are disciplining my daughter-in-law and holding my grandchild. I don't care about anything else. Even though your husband's funeral is going on? Huh? What are you talking about? Don't say something so horrible. Just because my husband and I have been separated for 2 years, that kind of lie won't work. You really are insane. If my husband really passed away, I, his wife, would be the first to be notified. How dare you try to deceive me with such an insane and obvious lie? It's beyond rude. Separated? Then, you really don't know, do you? Huh? What are you trying to say? Your husband, he passed away a few days ago. Last night was the wake, and today is the ceremony. Your brother-in-law will be the pallbearer. What? You're going to keep telling me this lie? You really don't know? No one's contacted me that way. Oh. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to upset me by saying something shocking so you can get rid of me as soon as possible. No, it's not like that. I know what is appropriate to say or not. Just because you say insane things doesn't mean I have to be insane too. Who's the insane one? You want to avoid living together so badly? Even if you're lying, can't you make up something more sensible? You really are a shitty wife, making up my husband's death for your own purposes. If you are that suspicious, why don't you check with one of your relatives? I'm in my bed at the maternity hospital. From bed, I'm attending the funeral ceremony on tablet that Matthew prepared for me. I'm seeing my father-in-law off while watching what's going on over there in real time on the tablet. You know, if you keep telling lies, I'll have no choice but to come there. I'm only telling the truth, and I won't live with you. Huh? You don't have the right to decide such things. I don't think you have the right either. Goodbye now. I can't believe it's true! My husband! I guess you spoke to your brother-in-law. He said it was really sudden. Both Matthew and your brother-in-law said they haven't quite processed their emotions yet. That's not important. Why didn't anyone contact me? Even though we're separated, I'm still the wife. You should have informed me first. I mean, shouldn't you, my daughter-in-law, have contacted me? Please don't expect to be contacted by someone who has cut themselves off from you. Anyway, I heard that your brother-in-law had contacted you. What? That never happened. You're lying. He said you didn't pick up the phone no matter how many times he called. Not that I was actually there. I don't think your brother-in-law is the kind of person who would lie like that. Could it be those repeated phone calls? I was too busy trying to track down Matthew's house, and I felt it was too noisy. I've blocked and refused those calls. I see. So, you must have already blocked his number when he tried to send you texts later on. So, it wasn't that he didn't contact you, but that you had blocked him. So, blaming your brother-in-law or me for that is not the right thing to do, is it? How could you let this happen? What does it mean? My husband's will. Why? How could he exclude me from his inheritance? It doesn't seem like there's much left in the will. It's terrible. So why are you contacting me? My phone is not a place for you to air your complaints. What happened to living together? Huh? Are you still going on about that? I'm on my way to your house now. I went to the trouble of finding out your address that day, but I couldn't get you to move in with me right away because of my husband. But that's not going to happen this time. From now on, you must change your bad attitude and do your best to take care of me. I will discipline you to behave in a manner befitting a wife. Why aren't you here? I told you that we would be living together from today. I didn't agree to it. I'm taking shelter at my parents' house with our newborn daughter. What do you mean, taking shelter? You talk like it's an evacuation. Oh, you are aware of that, aren't you? We are planning to move to a new place after things settle down. Moving? You're moving again? To be clear, we've already moved. Matthew has taken care of everything related to the move. Matthew? You're deceiving and manipulating Matthew, aren't you? It's impossible he would keep moving without letting me know. It's possible. We have 1 month left on the lease at the place you found, but I have no plans to return there. Why the hell not? I said I'm moving in with you. Why would I want to live with someone who is going to harass me all the time? We left 3 years ago with the sole purpose of avoiding that. And just to have you find out where I live and ask to move in with us was a real horror story. I will never tell you where we're moving to next. Then where am I supposed to live? You were living separately from your husband, right? Why don't you just go back to the place that you were living? I couldn't pay the rent, so I was evicted. Oh. 3 years ago, I thought you were at least working part-time. Did you quit? I stopped doing that a long time ago. What? Even though we were living separately, my husband was paying my living expenses and rent. If I was frugal, I had enough money so that I didn't have to work part-time. But my husband passed away unexpectedly. I've been spending what money I had in hopes of getting an inheritance in the near future. And my wallet and accounts are empty. I don't even have enough money to stay in a hotel or anything. Did you really think you were going to get an inheritance? I don't think you should expect that, timing-wise. I'm his wife. Even if we were separated, I'm still his wife and entitled to an inheritance. I don't think there's a problem with that. I heard that the reason for the separation was because you took money that you shouldn't have. Huh? We're not talking about that now. I'm telling you because I think it's relevant. I haven't been told the details of the money you took, but perhaps it was enough that he had to make a decision that you should be excluded from the will. Rather than spending money on going around looking for places to live, why don't you look at job postings and look for a job first? Especially if it's a live-in job, I'd recommend it because it would solve most of your current problems. And those places will let you work immediately. You said you are living with your parents. Well then, I'll move in with you there. Did you know our address? What? Ever since you tore up the first Christmas card my parents sent me when we were living together, just to be mean, I don't think you had any opportunity to learn our address, since you didn't write it down, did you? Then tell me! I don't want to. You're the one who caused this. Hey! You're not getting anywhere. Can we end this now? What? End it? I've told you many times. You are cut off. This time, I had to reply because of the intrusion of what happened to your husband, but this is the end of it. I wish you a happy life. If you have time to complain about me, you have time to think about your own future. The baby is waking up, so I'll leave you now. Wait a minute! You need to listen to me! I haven't even held my grandson yet! Answer me! Selena! The day after this, my mother-in-law showed up at her brother-in-law's house. In fact, her brother-in-law hadn't been in contact with her for the past 2 years. When he received a call from Matthew, he was preparing how to deal with her, thinking that she would go there next. So at the same time that my mother-in-law showed up, her uncle, who is a relative that my mother-in-law has a hard time with, appeared on the scene. He was going to place her in a live-in workplace through a friend of his. She was put in a black van that appeared at the uncle's signal, crying and sobbing, and left. Now she is working hard, being worn down by strict senior workers. As it's a live-in job, I guess it's good that she could find a place to live. Finally, I blocked her number. Once we get settled, Matthew and I will change our phone numbers. Cheryl, it's been a while. Do you know who this is? Of course. You must be Nina, Mitchell's mother. It's been a while. This is the first time you've called me, isn't it? Have we not talked since my daughter's wedding? Yes. It's been a long time since we exchanged numbers at my son's wedding. I never thought we would be having this kind of conversation when we exchanged back then. What do you mean? Allison is with you now, isn't she? I guess she had a fight with Mitchell, and she ran out of the house with our grandson, Chris. I can't reach her on her cell phone, so I texted her to stop being stubborn and come back. Could you please persuade her to come back? Poor Mitchell, he's losing sleep worrying about her. No, Allison and Chris haven't seen me since last week. Oh, I wonder where they went. I wonder where they could be. Oh, Cheryl, I don't mean to be rude, but I have something I need to say. What is it? Your daughter is not suitable to be a wife. What are you basing that on? Let me be clear. It's her academic background. My Mitchell graduated from one of the best universities in the country and now works for a big company. He is a very bright man, and I am very proud of him. I agree. Mitchell is a very accomplished man. He is intelligent, good at his job, and has a good personality. On the other hand, Allison is a bit, well, it's a good thing that she graduated from college at least. She had to repeat school an extra 2 years, didn't she? And she works night shifts and sometimes comes home late due to sudden overtime work. A person who can only get a job at a company that treats you like that is not suitable for my Mitchell. It's obvious to anyone who sees him that a person in a low position like that doesn't match with his status, isn't it? But Mitchell insisted, so I allowed her to marry him. I see. You're the one who raised Allison like that, aren't you? Why are you brushing it off like it isn't your problem? Why don't you feel a little responsibility and reflect on your actions? I didn't expect you to be the parent of a useless daughter who had to repeat school. Allison didn't have to repeat school, and she doesn't work for a bad company. What? What do you mean? She works irregular hours every day, doesn't she? Isn't that typical of a bad job? Allison is a doctor. A doctor? Medical school is a 6-year program, so you have to attend for 2 years more than a 4-year university. And since you are a doctor working in a hospital, you are required to be on duty. And if an emergency comes in, you may not be able to go home as scheduled. What do you mean by doctor? Exactly what I said. No matter how many times Allison tried to explain, you just kept shouting and wouldn't listen to her. Well, I don't think it was like that. If she had told me first that she was a doctor, I would have understood. She made it sound confusing, so I misunderstood her. Even if she's a doctor, maybe it's a great profession, but she can't explain things very well, can she? No matter how good you are at explaining, you can't communicate to someone who won't listen to you. Even if you don't live with them, you don't even know what career your daughter-in-law has after 2 years of marriage. How is it for a mother-in-law to not even know what her son's wife does for a living? I have no right to be told how to be a good mother from you. Then what about this? I went to their apartment yesterday morning. To my surprise, only Mitchell was home. I asked him where Allison and Chris were. When I asked him, he said they had left with the intention of never coming back. Even if she is doing a great job as a doctor, She's a wife who neglects her husband and just leaves him like that. I can only think that there was a problem with the way she was raised. From the sounds of it, I'd say you don't know what's going on at all. What are you talking about? Allison and Chris, as well as Mitchell, will never return to that apartment again. What do you mean? Nina, I heard that you often go to the apartment without notifying them. You criticize Allison's cooking and insult her while saying you are teaching her. If I contacted Allison in advance, I wouldn't know if Allison was doing her chores properly, would I? So I decided to visit unexpectedly so I can see how she really is. It's called an unannounced check. It's a common practice in any business. In fact, there were times when she slept in late in the morning. I scolded her for being a lazy wife. Is that my fault too? That was when she was on duty. Is it so wrong to rest so you can do your work and stay healthy? Well, she is still a wife, so I don't know about that. You're getting me off topic, so please shut up and listen to what I have to say. Mitchell told me that he had discussed the situation with Allison. After thinking about it, he offered to be transferred to a new hospital, and Allison went along with him and got a new job at the hospital where he was transferred. What? I didn't hear anything about a transfer. Allison and Chris went directly to the new place after work the day before yesterday. Mitchell was in the old apartment until yesterday due to his work. But now he's already joined Allison and Chris at their new place. I just called Mitchell, but I can't get through. What's going on? Cheryl, do you know what's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? You still don't understand? Your son and his wife have cut you out of their lives. What? Why? I believe Mitchell's letter explaining it all is in your mailbox. To summarize, it says that he can't forgive you for bullying his wife, so he is cutting ties with you in order to protect his own family. This is what it says. Your ex-son seems to have made an intelligent decision. Oh no! That boy is my only son. Please give him back. He doesn't want to come back. That son of yours has thought it through and made a decision. I will come to you now. Let's look for our children together. How dare they run away from us and cut us off? It's unforgivable. No. I am already on my way to Allison and the others. What? Mitchell said I could take this opportunity to move in with them, so I've decided to take him up on his offer. What? I'm the one who will be living with him. Mitchell is my son. My husband has already passed away, and this kind of terrible treatment is too much. I am about to get off the train. I can't walk and type, so let's finish this here. Wait! Please! Come back to me, even if it's